Now then, welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies 2. Fancy beams dancing around in the background. How you all doing? It's about to get night time. I picked the wrong time to start recording, didn't I, really? But we'll have a quick sleep in a minute. I'll just quickly show you what I've got going on over here. This is the bee area that I've started working out. I've just started laying it out, really, and giving it a bit of a beam look around it. But the actual covers don't appeal to me yet. The actual covers aren't good enough yet. I want to find a block that covers up a lot better. Maybe just straight oak covers would do it. And also facades. I've got a problem with facades at the minute. You're supposed to take these cable ties, cable anchors, and place them as so, and then take a block of choice and make a facade. But I seem to have lost the ability to make facades. I don't know why. I've got a few facades that I've used up, like these ones here, and some that I've got elsewhere in the world, but I've not done that one. Let's have a quick sleep. But I've not been able to make any new ones since the update. Maybe an issue that gets fixed very soon, hopefully. But let's just take, for example, any old facade, like a cobblestone facade, would just be these cable ties. Let me get them again. These cable ties or cable anchors wrapped around something, and that would make them. That would do it. That would be the thing. That was the right way to do it. And if you look under uses for these, it shows you 497, including that cobblestone use, makes cable facades. But as you can see here, I'm not able to make cable facades. So I was a bit stuck. So yeah, I've used up the cable facades that I had in the system, and of course they don't look great, but they are covering the cables at least. They don't look great, and I can't get anything to cover flux ducts. Microblocks will cover extra utilities, nodes and pipes, but they won't cover thermal expansion flux ducts or ducts of any kind. So I'm a bit stuck there as well. So I'm not completely happy with the final product. I wanted the beehives all at the top, the automated apiaries, and I wanted the machines in a line along here. And when I started assembling them, this is kind of where all the machines ended up being. And I'm not 100% on that either. What we've got, right, behind stone cover number 1, we've got a DNA extractor, which basically you put bees or saplings in there that you don't want, and it will use power and genetics labware to break it down into DNA. And I've got a transfer node transferring the liquid across to this machine here. And on this side, we've got a protein liquefier, which takes power and beef and pork and fish, I think, anything with protein in it, and turns it into a protein liquid. And I've got another liquid node there transferring across to this one. And in this one, I've got the protein and the liquid DNA assembling in a genetic replicator along with the power, so that I can replicate genetics. Yes, that's basically what it is. I've not used it yet, I've just started stocking it up. I have tried using it in the past, and I think I understand what it does, but we've got no need to use it right now, so I'm just saving it until we need it. The advanced mutatron is set up down here, full of mutagen and power and lots of genetic labware. Just underneath this little cable tie, I've got an export bus crafting these genetics labware, so the AE system will keep that particular block full of labware all the time. So if we take half a stack out, it should start crafting up and make a full amount. So it should do that a couple of times. There we go. Let's take those, well, let's take half of them out, and then I can transfer them across to wherever they're needed. So I've been doing that a little bit. A genetic imprinter, which takes a bee and one of these genetic pads and imprints the DNA, or imprints the details on them. A genetic transposer, which takes some elements and adds it to another item using genetic labware. Yeah, all of these things we'll probably use in the future, but right now I'm not using them at all. And a genetic sampler, which allows me to put a bee in there. I can use that now, actually. Let's take one of these drones, or let's take 4 of the drones, why not? And we'll put the drones in there. And what it'll do, it will take this drone apart and take a genetic sample of the drone. Similar to how the old bees advanced genetics used to work. So that's now taken from B, tolerant flyer false. Tolerant flyer false. I don't know exactly what that does, but there you go. Territory average. Yep. So it'll kill the bee and take a genetic sample from the bee at the same time. Which is kind of the way it goes. You destroy the bee and take a genetic sample. So we've got 2 of those now. They don't stack, unfortunately. Tolerant flyer false, yeah, and territory average. And day-night, ignores day-night false. Okay, so fairly useless ones. But then again, I did take them from Meadows drones. And Meadows drones don't have really amazing, interesting things that you can use them for. But you take these genetic samples like this, and we'll take something like ignores day or night false, and take a genetic template, and then we'll put it in the transposer. And I think we'll go... no, that doesn't go in there. That goes in there, and then we add that onto it, or something. Oh, we take a blank one. Okay. Or we take this imprinter. There we go. We'll take that, and we would add a bee in there, and it would add the genetic samples onto it. That's kind of how it works. But we've got no particular need to go through that in any more great detail right now. You already know what the mutagen does, Mutatron. That breeds the bees for me and gives me all of the 112 pages worth of bee breeding that we can do. So yeah, that's good. So we can breed all the bees that we want, and then we can take genetic samples of them once we've bred them for a while. Let's take, for example, a common drone and have a look at what a common drone gives us. So there we go. Drop that through there. So we may be able to pick out a territory, which that's an average territory. We may be able to pick out the fertility of 2 times in bee drones. So it's likely to create two drones for every queen. Flower types and pollination types and production types and lifespan types, all those kind of things can be taken as a genetic sample, including the climate and tolerance and humidity and tolerance of the bees. But most of the bees I've got here aren't really that good for anything in particular. They've got, well, we've got a modest there that's a cactus loving bee, which is why I've got a little cactus up there. Why can't I fly? Fly. 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 There we go. Ah, it's working. Yeah, I've got a cactus at the back here for the flower of those bees, and I've got another flower down the side there as a flower for the other bees. And they all need various types of flower from various different points in their biomes. But we'll get around to those as we need them. All we're really doing in Agrarian Skies is completing the quests for bees. The Druid's Tale will probably go into more detail than just completing these quests. And up to now, we've got all of the quests completed, and it actually says, let's see where it is. It actually says we've got 71% completed already, which is pretty good. The things that we're missing are the produce of bees, which means that I've got to breed the types of bee and then get them to start producing these different things in their combs, which we can do over time. That's a lengthy process that we can do over time. And I've got some of these Botania flowers to make. And this one actually looks quite useful. A hive Cynthia. Ever needed more drones? Don't feel like making more hives? Feed a hyacinth some mana and collect the results. You may even get a princess. So that's a way of making bees. It also gives me the reward of an unusual hive and some meadows hives that I can then break down. And it gives me a second Hyacinthia and a reward bag. So I was looking at what we can do to make these, and oh, there's another one there. There's a begonia, which gets rid of spare drones and makes mana, which we can also make. But the functional flora, where was it? There's lots and lots of functional fauna these days. Hive Cynthia, there we go. Finding new bees for your stock can be a bit of a pain. Thankfully, we can tap into the memories of flowers to reproduce bees with up to 74% accuracy. Maybe. The Hyacinthia absorbs mana from the nearby mana pool, and once it has collected enough, it begins converting it to life essence and produces a bee. It seems the species is somewhat random, though only mundane bees will ever be produced, and roughly in proportion to how they are found in the wild. Occasionally, a flower will give itself airs and produce a vaunted heiress rather than a vulgar drone. A redstone seagull will prevent the hyacinth from converting mana into life essence. And it's a fairly simple recipe that we've got to make. Mystical and mana petals from blue and light blue varieties, and a redstone root. Redstone root is one thing that I haven't actually got yet. I've got to make some grass. So that's our first little mission today, is to make some grass. Over at the Botania section, we've got a lot of mana pool created, because I've not been touching Botania for a while. So I've got pretty much 2 full mana pools here. So I can make one of these Hyacinthias and throw them down there quite easily. We've also got our blue petals, no problem as well. Let's just grab those and allow those to grow back again. I don't know if I've got enough, but it looks like I might have enough of the most of the petals. And anything I'm missing or short of, I shall make up quickly. And that'll throw it all into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly make sure that I've got all the material components I need for the Hyacinthia and set that up over there. But what I will need as well is some grass, if I've got some. Yeah, I've got 16 blocks of grass. So I'll take a few blocks of grass and we'll replace this area around by the mana pool, like here. And maybe another one either corner of it, like this. I don't know the range of this Hyacinthia thing, but it'll be okay. So I get the blocks. I got 3 blocks. That'll do me. It saves me having to make them again. Right, and we'll put that there and see what we can do about making some bees. So let me just get the parts together, sleep off another night, and I'll be back. Okay, well, a little refresher course in creating mana flowers. The thing shows a petal apothecary and the redstone root and a few mystical petals. Well, this is the petal apothecary. We fill it up with water. I've got all the petals that I'm supposed to need for this particular recipe. The only thing I don't have is the redstone root. So I'm going to bone meal some grass, get the grass itself, and shear it to get the grass, like so. I also got the seed out of that one as well. Okay, well, I'm not really that bothered about getting a potato seed. You can sit around over there. We're going to mix it with some redstone to make redstone root. We can just do that in a normal crafting recipe, I believe. Redstone. Let's get a couple of pieces of redstone, and we'll make 1 piece of redstone root, and I'll put the rest away for another day, just in case I need it. So we should now be able to put all of this goody stuff into the apothecary by throwing it in. And so, did I go in? Yes, it did. Okay. So we got, I think I've got all the right amounts of ingredients. I think I have. Let's throw them all in there. Did everything go in? Everything looks like it went in. Doesn't look cool, all sparkling around like that. Looks very good. And then we throw a seed in. And we get a Hyacinthia. Awesome. The water all goes and everything like that. But we get the Hyacinthia. And that gives us the reward. So I'm going to claim the unusual hives. Thank you. And that also gives me a second Hyacinthia and does that for me. So we'll place these Hyacinthia down here. Let's place 2 of them down. They should have some sort of connection. They're sparkling a bit, so they should have some sort of connection to this, which is why this is now receiving mana bursts again. Oh look, there's a one over there. Well, it's fairly quick, isn't it? I'll pop it up fairly quickly. So I'm gaining new drones. Attune drones, Meadows drone, and Mystical drone, and another Attune drone. So all of these drones will just sort of sit around, just waiting for me to pick them up. Infernal drone, awesome. So there we go. That's what we could do with picking up drones and making ourselves a supply of drones, which is very good. There's a potential that I could automate something with this in order to put the drones in to make DNA to get rid of them. Because obviously I'm not going to want all of these drones all the time. There was that mention that I could use a redstone signal to turn the flower off as well. So let's just get a lever. Hey, not a livy. Yeah, let's get a lever and place that down so we can turn it off so I'm not constantly getting items dropping on the floor. There's 2 more, right? Let's put it in there and turn them off. That should now stop them from producing, I should think. Yeah, we've got a few there though, and it was very quick, so I should be able to get a lot of drones just by standing around here. Oh, there's another one on the edge there. What are you? You've gone into a meadows drone. Awesome. So these drones will be very useful in converting common queens or common princesses into regular bees that I actually need during the quest line. The other quest is to make the begonia. Too many drones, feed them to a begonia to power more useful flowers like the Hive of Cynthia. So I got to make all that next. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just show you what the recipe is for that. Let's go back and out. That's a generating flower. Begonia, which requires this little recipe. Some white, some yellow, and a black. So all easy petals to get. I'm just going to quickly get them all together. And once again, I'll be back. Alrighty, so for this one, we needed 1 white mana petal, 1 normal white petal, 1 yellow mana petal, 3 normal yellow petals, and 1 black mana petal. And then the seed, boom, gives us a begonia. The begonia should eat up anything that is lying around by it and turn it into mana, according to that. I get a mystical princess, a flask of restoration, 6 uses, another heart, and another reward bag. Let's take the reward bag. And that hasn't unlocked anything new yet, so making the frames is like the next thing, the impregnated frame, which shouldn't take me too long to do, actually. Let's turn this on. Let's let it produce a couple of drones, like there's a drone over there. I'm going to place this begonia down here and see how close before it eats these drones up and turns them into mana. There's one right next to it there. Oh, that's a princess as well. Dang it, I'm taking that. It's a tropical princess and a mystical princess I picked up from the quest reward. Yeah, this should be feeding into something or other. It might need a mana spreader for it. How about that? It might need a mana spreader for it. Let's see. Okay, let's see. What are you doing? It's not trying to do anything right now. It's not gaining anything, not doing anything. I wonder what that's supposed to do then. Let's have a look. Let's see what it says elsewhere. Let's go boop, 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 boop. Drones are the foundation, blah, blah, blah. The begonia is the solution to the problem of overcrowding. Simply toss your spare drones into the vicinity and they will reclaim the life force within the drone and convert it into mana. They aren't terribly picky. Well, they seem to be terribly picky right now, don't they? Let's take one. Well, let's pick all these up. Pick them all up. There's loads of them, isn't there? Let's turn that off. Probably a redstone signal's not going to do it any good either. Throw one of those on it. Nope, it doesn't eat it. It's pretty much what it said, though. Throw one in the vicinity. That's in its box. And it's not trying to eat it at all, is it? Oh well, I guess I'll be keeping them then. I'm not that bothered about destroying them anyway. If I want to destroy them, then I'll destroy them in the DNA chamber. Alright, yeah, all of these blasts of mana are making my frame rate drop. You can probably tell in the video. So let's get away from that for a little bit more. Let's go and throw all these away over here. I'm going to do a quick client restart, and I'll be back. Okay, well, I found out where all my lag was, and where it's all coming from. I think my spawner may have gone a bit over the top with spawning sheep, and the grinders haven't been able to keep up with it. So I've got to wait until this clears out before I finish this episode today, because, yeah, I'll be back. Oh, wow. And then there was none. Wow, that was epic. The amount of sheep I had there. The applied energistic system had clogged up. These little import buses can only take 1 or 2 items at a time. I think it takes 1 item a tick when they're not upgraded. So the amount of wool and stuff that was coming in was making it struggle. And now, that made a build-up, which meant that the grinder itself couldn't eject items. And if it can't eject items into the chest behind it, then it stops grinding. So both of the grinders had clogged up with items because they couldn't put anything in the chest, which meant nothing was dying back there, and the spawner didn't know about it. Spawner just carried on spawning. So while I've been over there making my Botania flowers, which I've now got back in my inventory, they were just spawning like crazy, and there's got to have been about 500 sheep in there. I'm not going to run out of wool for a while. I'm not going to run sheep for a while either. No. Okay, so back onto what we were doing. We've got these hive Cynthias. Now, I pulled these hive Cynthias up out of the ground because I wasn't sure whether it was something to do with them that was causing the FPS lag. Obviously, I know now that it was nothing to do with these. I also, right, because I forgot all about putting that on, I also ran over to my bee setup, because that's the other new thing that I've got set up recently. And I pulled all of the gender stream machines out. I just pulled it apart. I just dragged it all out and clipped it all and threw it all away in here. So, yeah, I've got to rebuild that again now. But that does mean that I've got to rebuild it, and hopefully, because I understand where things are going to go better, I could potentially rebuild it in a better style, a better design, make it a little bit better looking. Hopefully, anyway, hopefully. And well, actually, let's open these reward bags. But I also want to have a look at the books to show you what's the next thing in line. The quest book, because I've restarted computer, client, everything to try and get rid of the frame lag. And then realised there was bloody sheep everywhere. 85% complete. Not bad. We've only got the frames, the impregnated frames to make. I don't know if that's got it in NEI, actually. Let's have a look. If NEI gives you a frames thing now. 3 pages. There we go. Well, we got untreated, impregnated. Untreated frames. Sticks with some string in the middle. Very easy to make untreated frames, but they don't do anything. Then we've got impregnated frames, which use these impregnated sticks instead of normal sticks to make impregnated frames. And impregnated the sticks require a carpenter with some seed oil in it and some logs to make sticks. So fairly easy, and I've only really got to make, what was it? One of those. So I've only got to make one, which should be fairly simple. So I should have that done quickly enough. 10 Aubrey bushes and a camma of a voluminous pockets. Oh, what's this do? Equipped a belt slot. I will. And what's that going to do for me? Ooh, it's giving me a thing around the back there. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. It's giving me a thing. Like a Japanese camma. Camma? Is it Japanese? I don't know. But what's it supposed to give me? What's it supposed to give me? Equipped a belt slot. Witchery gadgets, items. Voluminous pockets. Well, I don't feel like I've got any more volume in my pockets. I don't feel like I've got any more space in my inventory. It's kind of cool looking though. Maybe better than the belt that we had on before. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe a different colour or something may suit better. And it might go with some of the armours that I'll be trying out from the Magic Mods a bit later on. Well, I'm going to have to cut this episode short now because I'm running late after running around trying to figure out what my frame rate drops were all about, and then figuring out the sheep and waiting for the sheep to slowly but surely get killed off. Yeah, I'm cutting it a bit short for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry it's a short one. I will crack on and get ready for another episode tomorrow. See you later. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.